Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Muhammad Hammoudi, and in this book review, I'll be reviewing a book called The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. In this book review, I intend to give you, the viewer, a brief summary of the plot, an evaluation of the book's strong aspects and weak aspects, and how to improve those weak aspects, and a star rating with a brief summary on the video. Keep in mind that this book review is my opinion and my opinion only. This is not fact. I'm simply conveying my own thoughts and my own suggestions. Some people will have different opinions and different suggestions. I'm just conveying my own. So let us stop wasting time and begin. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is a historical fiction book that takes place during World War II, around the Holocaust. The story is centered around Bruno and his family. Bruno's father works for Hitler, so the family is quite wealthy. The story starts when Bruno finds out after coming home from school that Maria, the maid of the house, is packing Bruno's things into 4 large wooden crates, which was surprising. Bruno wouldn't find Maria doing this. Bruno realizes that he and his family are moving away from Berlin. Bruno is pretty heartbroken since he's leaving behind his 3 best friends for life, and he's leaving his 5-story house. Bruno is even more heartbroken when he realizes that the new house is isolated in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around it. Pretty sad and depressing, as he describes it. And he also didn't like it because the house was only 3 floors, unlike Berlin, which was 5 floors. The story revolves around Bruno's experiences at, quote, out with, and challenges. This makes the plot not centralized and more broad. With the book's plot briefly summarized, let's now take a look at the book more closely. Let's start off with the good aspects of this book. Bruno was developed absolutely beautifully. Bruno in the beginning of the book seemed to not care about others. He just said things regardless of what others thought. An example of this could be found in page 50 through 51, where Bruno was complaining about, quote, out with, to his father. Father told Bruno that sometimes you need to keep quiet and follow orders. However, Bruno disregarded what father said and asked father if he did a bad job and made the Fuhrer angry, which was pretty rude considering a man like Bruno's father. Over time, Bruno became more considerate. For example, in chapter 6, when Bruno was bad-mouthing his father to Maria, Maria then told Bruno about the many good things his father did for her when she was in need. This led to Bruno start to consider that Maria is a real human with thoughts and feelings, and not just a servant to the entire house. In addition, when Bruno met Schummel, Bruno portrayed himself as a quite unlikable character by indirectly bragging to Schummel. However, later on when Bruno talks about Schummel indirectly for the first time to Gretel, his sister, Bruno realized that he completely neglected Schummel's hardships and just started talking about silly things, like exploring. Bruno's realization captured Bruno's mind beautifully and made me smile. Plot did not have a major conflict, which made the story more unexpected and suspenseful. The author took advantage of this and put some dramatic events in the book to shock the reader and keep the reader interested. The ending was very sad and was a good way to conclude the book. The events prior to the ending wrapped well with the ending to make the ending very well written and shocking. Let's not talk about the negative aspect of this book. The theme only really started to shine halfway through the book when Bruno met Schummel. I felt that the book had me waiting until the main plot started. The author could have placed that part a little before to have me suspended throughout the book. The second negative aspect of this book is that 2 chapters of the book were flashbacks, one of which were placed in the wrong spot. Chapter 11 was a flashback to before Bruno found Maria packing his things and what led to that moment. This chapter should have been placed before chapter 1, so the events could make a little more sense and so that a flashback chapter isn't placed randomly in the middle of the book. However, chapter 8, the other flashback chapter, was placed well to give some extra backstory on before Bruno left, quote, out with. That was not important, but gave insight on why Bruno missed his grandmother while he was out with. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is a sort of slow-paced book that is overall pretty dramatic. The book provides a good theme on the terrible events of the Holocaust, with the revolving family being Nazi and the main character interacting with endurers of the Holocaust. This book attracts an audience that prefers a slow burn plot packed with dramatic suspense and taking place during World War II to give the book a more darker theme. I will now proceed to give my summarized thoughts and recommendation. I really like The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, and if I had to give it an honest rating, it would be a 4 out of 5 stars. Not necessarily perfect, Like I said, the character development was beautiful, and the plot and ending were really suspenseful. It's not a perfect 5 stars since some things were missing, as I already mentioned, such as the pacing at first was a little too slow to lead up to the main theme, and chapter 11 is in the wrong place. However, I would really recommend this book for readers who enjoy a slow, dramatic book that gradually lets itself unfold. But in general, it's a well-written book, and you should probably read it. And that's it from me. Thanks for watching.